Which is the better choice for you? Choosing to be a stay-at-home mom or choosing to be a working mom? Let's take a look at the history of the role of women. Until 1941, there were very few women in the workforce. From 1941 to 1945, much changed when millions of women entered the workforce during World War II. In 1987, the average woman earned 68 cents for every dollar earned by a man. In 1964, 31.8% of women were in the workforce. In 2009, 49.8% of women were in the workforce. So what is this telling us about women today? Well, in 2000, there were about 40 million women 20 years or older not in the workforce. Today, there are nearly 49 million women 20 years or older not in the workforce. An additional 315,000 women quit a month after this survey was given. In 1999, the participation of women in the workforce was 60.7%. Today, it is 58.8%. What are these changes telling us? Many more women are choosing to stay at home than to be in the workforce. I would guess that majority of these women choosing to stay home are mothers. The average number of kids to a stay-at-home mom is 2.2. The average number of kids to a working mother is 1.9. 32% of stay-at-home mothers have 3 or more children. This drops 22% in families with working mothers. This tells us that if you are a stay-at-home mother, you are likely to have more children than a working mother. Here is a clip from 60 Minutes about very prestigious women who chose to leave the workforce and become stay-at-home mothers.
Church in suburban Maryland is filled with professional women who have chosen to step out of the full-time workforce to spend time raising children. They have organized a lecture series for intellectual stimulation.
You going through a negotiation, if you're normal, feeling a certain inadequacy.
Tori Hall, a former analyst with the Congressional Budget Office, and Sheila Isel, once a top sales representative for Oracle, come each week. They and Ann Gelzaler, a Yale graduate and lawyer, are all stay-at-home moms.
The bottom line was it was an emotional decision, not an intellectual one. It doesn't make sense to give up a great job that pays a lot of money and has a lot of satisfaction for myself just to walk away from that.
You were voted the most likely to succeed. You went to Yale, you went to Penn Law School. You were on that track. Full-time, full bore. Does it bother you?
I think about it for a little bit, and then I think I love what I'm doing for right now, and I do. I would say the first 6 months there were days that I had serious doubts. Did I make the right decision? Now there's like bumps in the road, but I'm very glad that I'm staying at home.
Could it really be that this generation of women, the first to achieve success without having to fight for it, is now walking away willingly and without regrets?
Kangaroo.
Census Bureau statistics show a 15% increase in the number of stay-at-home moms in less than 10 years.
In my very short experience as a mother, I have been a working mother and a stay-at-home mother. In my experience as a working mother, I have felt many different feelings and scenarios. After I had my son, I went back to work 40+ hours a week at a bank. I wasn't getting home until between 5:30 and 6:30 each night. This meant that I could only spend about 2 to 3 hours a day with my son. For me, this was very painful. A short month and a half later, I gave my notice into the bank and I decided to take a different job that allowed me to get off work every day at 2 p.m. This made a huge difference. I was able to spend almost half of the day with my son. Some of the things that I have felt and noticed while being a working mother was that I felt very productive every day. I also enjoyed having my own separate money and paycheck. Because my child went to daycare 2 days a week, he became very social and was able to interact with other children and even adults. He was okay when I left the room or was not around. The downfall of having a child go to daycare is that he was sick on average about once a month. This was very difficult, and we were at the doctor's office more than we wanted. The best thing about being a working mom is that I truly cherished every moment I had with my child. I didn't take my time with him for granted. I have only been a stay at home mom for a short period of time. It's only been about a month and a half. It has flown by. It was always my dream to stay at home with my children, but it has not been as easy as I thought. Stay at home moms work very hard. Some of the things I have felt and noticed about being a stay at home mom is that I am more exhausted. I go to bed more tired now than I did when I was a working mom. I don't feel as organized now as I did when I was working. I think this is because I had a very strict schedule when I was a working mom. That way I could get everything done that needed to be done. Now that I have stayed home, I have days where I feel like I haven't accomplished anything at all and I feel like I haven't contributed. Although I know that this isn't true, sometimes I still feel that way. I am guilty of not cherishing every moment with my son. I am so used to being with him that at times I forget each day to cherish each day with him. My son now has a hard time when I leave him, even if he is upset with me. He also doesn't like having babysitters anymore. With all of this being said, I love being a stay at home mom more than I love being a working mom. I never feel guilty leaving my child because I don't leave him. I am with him every day. I have learned more things about him that I didn't know before. I know that each person is different. Do what you feel is best for you. In an experiment about stay at home moms versus working moms, a question was asked: which moms are the happiest? A, stay at home moms, or B, working moms? Well, it's neither. It's C, moms that work part time. The reason is because moms took time for themselves to achieve their own personal goals while still spending a lot of time at home with their families. This may be the reason for many mothers that are choosing to work part-time out of their homes or go to the office just a couple days a week. Some of these jobs include music lessons, catering, dance lessons, counseling a couple days a week, hairdressers, teaching online classes, preschool teachers, etc. There are so many options for mothers these days. I think it is so important to do what is best for you and your family. I know that becoming a stay-at-home mom has been a huge blessing in my life. Although there are very few moments when I think that I might want to go back to working, I know that I am grateful to be a stay-at-home mom. I hope you do what's best for you. Thank you.